So we are 2.5 years into real estate investing. How do we go from 0 to 8 rentals in our first year? I'm gonna break down exactly what I did. So hopefully you can get your first rental and maybe even your 8th all coming up. So I'm Josh Baldovino and I'm a marketer and I'm a real estate investor. And today we own 125 rental units. So it's a mix of long-term rentals, short-term rentals, midterm rentals. Recently syndicated an apartment complex in Dallas that is 111 units. So yes, we've made a little bit of moves, but here's exactly what I did to get started. And it's, to be honest, a lot of work, but my last tip is the unlock for everything. So you're gonna wanna stick around for that last one. So first off, real estate investing is super hard. And there's really only one thing that you can do that will actually give you the confidence to execute. And that's to actually understand. Well, I lied. There's actually two things. One, you need to actually understand how the numbers work out. So you have to analyze hundreds and hundreds of deals to the point to where you know this for sure can make money, and I'm confident it will. The second thing is whatever your max amount of budget is, say for example, you have $50,000 saved and you said, this is my allowance, this is what I can spend on real estate investing. At that point, spend half of it. That's it. Your actual budget is $25,000. If poop hits the fan, you won't be SOL and you're out of money. So you have money to then fix it and or correct the mistake, but you don't want to spend every single last dollar just in case you mess up. So for us, we saved $100,000 by living with our parents, not going on vacation, really going out to eat, having one car. We did every single thing we could do for 3 years to save $100,000, and that was our seed money. And to be honest, that was actually our money to buy a primary residence, but that's a whole other thing. So I quickly realized that we wanted to start in real estate investing, and the first thing you have to do is once you have enough money saved is to start picking a market. And obviously, the only thing that you think about when you're picking a market is, will it cash flow? Meaning whatever rent you bring in has to cover more than your mortgages, more than your insurance, your property tax, your saving for vacancies, maintenance, CapEx, all of that. I'll create another video about how to actually calculate expenses, but once you get that down, literally go into Google and just look up best cash flowing markets, and there will be so many different blogs. And from there, you can pick a couple markets that are on a handful of lists. In this case, I picked Columbus, Ohio, and I started calling everybody. I called 20 agents, 20 property managers, as many people as I can call, because I wanted all of their perspectives. And they're all in sales, so they all want your business. And so the deeper I got into these conversations, the more information I had about certain neighborhoods, about zip codes, where to invest, where not to invest. That was giving me more and more confidence. And then now, as I started to network and build some relationships and form rapport, if I was interested in a deal, I could text it to a property manager and say, hey, would you even manage this property, this location, or is it horrible? And you're like, stay away from that one. So for our first property, we actually found one in Columbus for $120,000 in a solid C+ neighborhood, let's call this. And at the time, we got under contract for $119,000, which means that our mortgage payment, property insurance, and taxes are about $600. And in that area, it actually rents for $1,300, and it was turnkey, meaning we had more than enough room to also save for vacancies, maintenance, and CapEx. And so we felt really good about that deal. 2 weeks after closing, we actually got a tenant in there, and that gave us a lot of confidence. Now with that deal and confidence, we also realized that we would quickly run out of money. So we learned about the Bur Strategy, which means that you buy the ugliest house on the block that needs a lot of work, fix it up, and then refinance the property to get all of your cash out. And so again, we analyzed 100 Bur deals and we found one. I bought a house actually a few blocks from our first one. We bought it for $75,000. We put in $30,000 for rehab. And in order to get that rehab number, by the way, we actually paid 3 contractors to bid the job of, here's everything we think we need to get it done. Let us know what also you recommend to make it rent ready for a rent property. And they gave us 3 different bids. And from there, we selected the best bid. Now we paid for those bids and offer to pay for them. Some contractors won't charge you, but offer to pay for them for those bids because they are checking out your property and they are telling you, in their opinion, what's wrong with it. When we close on the property, even on a fixer-upper, we still got an inspection. Now, there are some inspectors who will do a lighter inspection because they know that basically the kitchen is horrible, the bathroom's horrible, you're gonna rip it out anyways, so they're just checking the major systems. But once you get that inspection, from there you can give that to a contractor to say, here are all the items I want to address. Additionally, we're gonna want new kitchens, new floors, new bathroom, new tile surround, whatever it is, and pay for those bids because they're gonna give you time for that. So for us, we bought a house for $75,000. $100,000. We put in $30,000, and we did this through hard money. And again, I called 50 hard money lenders to then fully understand that product. I'll make a whole other video on that. But we ended up closing on the house, fixing it, 6 months later, getting it appraised, and it appraised for $185,000, which means that we were able to get all of our cash back out, pay our hard money lender, make $50,000 in equity, and it cash flows a couple $100 a month. Really, that's just what we're saving for maintenance and vacancies and things like that. But we have a house for is basically at this point now, no money in. So at this point, that's probably 500 deals analyzed. That's calling 50 hard money lenders, calling 50 property managers, 50 contractors, and I bet you're not gonna do that work. So this is how we're scaling. At this point, we keep doing more deals. I'm even messaging other investors in Columbus while I'm in California so that I can get a better know of that market. And that's what I'm doing. I'm literally obsessed. And because I'm so obsessed, I can't stop talking about it. Every single party we're going to, every hangout with friends, I'm posting on social media. Here's what I'm doing. It's a little bit crazy. I'm trying to figure it out. And along the way, people are asking us, dude, how are you doing this? Like, does this actually work? And we're breaking it down. At that point, my wife's best friends come up to us and say, hey, we've actually been thinking about this too. Would you want to do a deal together? And yes, because at this point, we're running low on our own funds. I'd love the safety net to mitigate the risk with somebody else on another deal. And we can build wealth with our friends. Like, what's better than that? So at this point, enter partnerships. We did our first partnership with my wife's best friends. We found a duplex again in Columbus. So again, staying in that same market, which is super, super important. We found a duplex for $130. We put in about $55,000 for rehab, and then it appraised for about $250. So again, a perfect Bur. This was a little bit longer than 6 months, so that was 8 months, so a little bit extra holding costs, but we managed to get all of our money back, and it's been cash flowing about $600 a month ever since. And now, at this point, these deals are underway. Obviously, they didn't finalize and actualize until after the first year for some of these, but there's been momentum. We bought properties, a couple of them have already rented, and at this point, more people are saying, hey, can we do this too? And so the next two properties I actually did with my dad. As we were over family dinners, he would say, okay, find me a deal. And so I found him another Bur deal, some more properties, and we bought a duplex and a single family house also in Columbus with the same teams together, just reinforcing those relationships. Okay, so unit 1 was our single family house. Unit 2 was our Bur deal. Unit 3 and unit 4 was the Bur deal that we did with my wife's friends. 5 through 7 were with my dad, and now is really kind of bringing in the outside network. And so I was attending meetups. I started even hosting meetups. Like literally the first 4 months of me in real estate investing, I then hosted a meetup just because I was meeting people on Instagram, and I said, hey, do you guys all want to just get together and just talk about real estate at a bar? And turns out a lot of people started real estate investing during COVID too, and so we ended up with 70 people at this first meetup. Regardless, when you get to these meetups, it's not who you meet at that meetup that's really, really important, but the most important piece is actually that follow-up piece. So I make it a key point. You're probably going to meet 10, 20, 50 people at an event. Get at least a handful that you're for sure just going to say, hey, I'm going to take extra effort to follow up and schedule a one-on-one coffee chat with them. We found Ash, our business partner, and we ended up thinking about, hey, let's pivot a little bit to short-term rentals like everybody else. And so we ended up closing on our first short-term rental in Joshua Tree, September of that year, which then brought out 8 units in the first year of real estate investing. Now, that's not the normal way to go about it, but there are 3 things if you want to scale that quickly as well. 1, get really good at running the numbers. 2 is that you have to actually be able to explain those numbers to somebody else. So regardless if you can run the numbers or not, how well can you communicate that to somebody else? And then 3rd is how many other people are you able to reach about the deals that you are analyzing? And that is all work. Analyzing, networking, and selling this deal to somebody else is 100% work. And so if you're not willing to put in the work, you won't scale, I promise you that. And that goes the same with anything. If you're not gonna work out, if you're not gonna diet, you're probably not gonna get in shape. And so if you want to do more deals and you want to do bigger deals, you gotta start taking deal actions. So that's my story of how we scaled from 0 to 8 units in our first year. Shameless plug, I did actually make a long-term rental calculator, and I made one for long-term rentals, calculating after repair values after a rehab project. a flip calculator, a Bur calculator if you can use hard money and you're going to refinance it out, a short-term rental purchase calculator, as well as a rental arbitrage calculator. If you want a copy of this, I will leave that linked down below. And if you want to support what I'm doing on this channel, this is one way to say thanks. If you have any specific questions about any of these deals, let me know in the comments below. I'm going to start posting recaps of all of our deals. So if you have any specific questions, let me know. Again, my name is Baldovino. I'm a marketer by trade and a real estate investor. If you found any value on this, please like and subscribe, and type in the comments if you've made it this far, scaling in quotes, because I'd love to see if you made it this far and we'll be best friends. If you want to see the breakdown video of how much it costs for us to launch our first short-term rental, click this video here, or I'll link it down below, and I'll see you guys there.